Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm Nalin, and today I want to talk about secure enclaves and how we can use them to deliver excellent products using modern cryptography. This is joint work with DC Posh, who's here in the audience. We're both building Dymo, which is an experimental payments app on Ethereum. So first, before we dive too deep, I want to first talk about why we care about consumer products. We think the maximum liberatory potential of cryptography is unlocked in this form factor of consumer products. And so this is not something new. Over the last 30 years, between things like PGP or Keybase or password managers and apps of this sort, we have seen a lot of value delivered to consumers from cryptography. But they have all been limited by some shared set of problems. And the issues that sort of hinder their potential can be bucketed into two categories. So first being the cryptography stack is perhaps not mature enough to support them. And the second being that consumer device hardware and software stack is just not good enough to build real-world security applications. So for instance, you could think of whatever bespoke cryptographic protocol you can come up with, but then at the end of the day, like your actual real-world security is limited by the entropy that can be stored in a password that's in a human brain, right? So that's about sort of what has been going on in the past. The main reason I want to talk about this trend today is that I want to point out that at this very moment in time, something very interesting is happening. And between these two circles of better cryptography unlocks and better hardware unlocks, we have some interesting opportunities to build new and exciting products. And so what exactly are these trends that have been going on? So in the hardware category, the biggest unlock has been the ability to use a secure enclave. So how many of you have heard of a secure enclave? So a lot of people, and maybe even, I think every device I can see in this room at least is one that does support a secure enclave or some form of hardware-backed TEE. And so just to recap what a secure enclave is, at an API level is really very simple for an application dev. They have the ability to interact with a private key, and all they can do is either encrypt, decrypt messages, or sign messages and obtain signatures. Under the hood, something very interesting is happening with secure enclaves in that they're a completely disparate hardware module. And what this means is that there is essentially no way to break into this hardware module to extract the private key itself. And you get essentially the best practice security you can ever get in a consumer device. And these are usually authenticated with some kind of biometric scan, like your finger scan or your Face ID, that kind of thing. So they're really the cutting edge of what security can be delivered. And so on the other hand, in this other circle, we have modern cryptography has given us a lot of unlocks. So this includes things like blockchains with programmable accounts, things like MPC, ZK, all of these kinds of things. And in fact, using these modern cryptography tools paired with secure enclave keys, we can really unlock the potential of what applications to consumers can deliver. And so if there is one point you should take away from this talk, the main overarching point is that there's a lot of opportunity to build cool things at this intersection of cryptography and secure enclaves at this moment in time. And we have been exploring this forefront ourselves. And I want to talk about two of the applications we've explored using this exact sort of formula of building consumer applications. So the first is a password manager, VestPass. So the status quo of password managers, most of you probably already know, kind of sucks. There's like all these apps that use really old world cryptography, very unsatisfying security assumptions like master passwords and whatnot, and overall they just generally suck. Yeah, and of course in the real world this leads to like all sorts of problems. You have like LastPass, which depends on master passwords, and of course it got broken into 6 months ago. The most popular open source password manager, Bitwarden, has a cryptography design that's very questionable. So what does it look like to build a password manager that's correct? So VestPass is a fix to all of these problems. So we use secure enclave-based hardware logged keys, combine them with secret sharing to split the secret across multiple devices, and support multi-device in general for a user. And we have the best-in-class password manager. So that's VestPass. It's a new kind of password manager that exists in a proof of concept state on my GitHub if you want to check it out. The other application I want to talk about is Dymo. With Dymo, we are rethinking how individual users interact with blockchain apps and sort of what the personal experience of a crypto wallet today is. To come back to this like two circles thing, old crypto systems like PGP or whatnot, they relied on sort of long-lived secrets shared between many machines. And in fact, that's how Ethereum accounts work today. But modern sort of security best practices have shown us that, for one, we want secrets to be ephemeral, and then two, we want them to be machine-generated, never leave the device, and definitely not interact with humans. For Ethereum in particular, the problem one of ephemerality is solved by account abstraction really well. We're able to do key rotation, and for instance, if you lose a device, we're able to simply remove the device from authority. And for two, the problem of having human-stored paper keys is solved really well by secure enclave-based key pairs. So together, we get a wallet done right, and we get a huge win for both security as well as UX. And in practice, Dymo manifests itself as a pure payments app. You can send and receive USDC to your friends and family. You get like all the immutability, security properties of the blockchain. You get because the keys live in your secure enclave, you get like the your coin, your key, or your key, your coin properties that you expect. And we support multiple devices, key rotation, secure backups, all that kind of thing. And we want to do things right end to end. Dymo is open source, GPL v3. You can send and receive payments to anyone on Ethereum, ENS, everything else. We're going to use EIP4, or we are using EIP4337 account abstraction. So the overall ecosystem is solvents. And overall with Dymo, we really want to focus on building a secure, simple, and performant experience for blockchain payments. So we want to get something that feels like Venmo, but lives on Ethereum. So we started pretty recently in late May, and we have all of these proof of concepts, and we're going to launch a test flight soon. You can sign up here to stay updated. And so we hope this talk was helpful in sort of expanding your imagination of the unlocks secure enclaves can deliver. And there's a lot more that I sort of didn't even go into, like with device attestations or ZK snarks and other cool capabilities they can unlock. But overall, I hope this was interesting and inspiring, and we're happy to take questions.
Transactions are very expensive. You put there $2.50 or whatever. What would be the cost there to do that?
Great question. So we're actually based entirely on L2. And DC, do you want to answer?
Sure. I can say a bit to that. But yeah, so it's going to be not certain which rollup yet, but like all on a rollup. And so then our goal is for it to be like 5-cent transactions.
So why don't you use a multi-sig in this wallet?
So we actually get better properties than a multi-sig. So for one, we have the ability to do key rotation. So if you lose a device, we are able to get that device removed from account authority.
Okay, and last question. Enclaves can be, if you get a subpoena, they can get your enclave anyway because it's a manufacturer, right? So it's not that secure.
Not necessarily. It's different from something like SGX, where you have like attestation that's like rooted in some manufacturer key. The way secure enclaves work is they generate a key that is hardware locked and never leaves your device. And yeah, I haven't seen evidence that it's like backdoored or backdoorable.
Well, I'm pretty sure that a subpoena can get that key. I mean, if you have $10 billion stolen, they can get the enclave. I'm pretty sure. Look at in the case, Ledger even said that. Ledger said that if they subpoena Ledger, the manufacturer is the one that, right?
Yeah, I don't think, I think I know what you're thinking of. You're thinking of the Ledger like custodial backup thing that they released recently, but we're not going to do that. Go for it.
So maybe two things to point out there. One, these secure enclaves, the ones we're depending on are the ones built by Apple, and they're built in at the time of manufacturing. There's no upgradability or firmware edits you can make. So at the very least, you need physical access to the device to be able to break in. And so that's like sort of the minimum bar.
Wait, we should take. There's one guy who's really.
We really sorry, but we don't have enough time for a lot of questions. One last question, and after you can ask speakers any questions because we need to go to
Sounds
another.
Great. Sounds great. You want to do the? Go for it.
Is it okay? Okay. For the secure enclave part, the thing is like the curve that like doing the cryptography is not like the Ethereum curve. So the thing is that like when you use secure enclave, at the end of the day, it's just to authorize the transaction that happening and secure the private key. But like it's not like signing with your Face ID, right? Because I'm working on that though, so that's why.
Yeah, that's right. It's basically you're signing with a key that lives in the secure enclave on the phone, and the secure enclave separately, in addition to that, does things like enforcing PIN attempts and Face ID for the phone.
So you just be like validating, and after that you unlock the logic to signing the transaction with the normal Ethereum wallets that is on the phone, right?
Yes.
No, maybe one small addendum to make. The key that signs the message is a P256 key, and the key lives in the secure enclave.
Yep.
We never have it in memory or in the regular RAM or CPU disk of the device. We use account abstraction on Ethereum to support P256 signatures.
Okay.
I think he's just talking about the usability, like the user experience of it, which is like, yeah, you authenticate to the phone and then it signs
And
a transaction that goes out.
And the blockchain do the account abstraction stuff too. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Oh, QR code. Deal.
We don't have any
Yes.
more
Okay.
time for the questions.
Perfect. Thank you.
You can ask speakers in the private discussion. And our next topic is the role of the FI and regenerative finance in Africa. We will start to prepare for this topic.